You know, in addition to the modelers supporting old Rhinebeck for all these years, every year at the model meet too, they come out on Tuesday or Wednesday and start mowing the place. And the grounds, they look beautiful. So a big thanks to all the modelers who have come out to groom the airfield for us. It couldn't look better, and it will stay this way for the remainder of our season. So that's another wonderful benefit. Model Club's been actively involved in support of the Aerodrome for many, many, many years, and hopefully many years to come. From your right for a couple of photo flybys. Beautiful airplane, highly modified de Havilland Chipmunk. This one manufactured back in 1956, which was about the last year that the Chipmunks were being built. Come off number 1 on the ground. Mike Mignatis follows right behind him through the notch in the trees. And here comes.
You can see it. You can see it. Keep going.
Automobile accessories, brass headlamps, things of that nature. Invested all his money back into flying machines, and he tried all sorts of different designs, all sorts of different layouts before settling on this one he called his Type 11. This airplane introduced in 1909, and it was July 25th of that year that Louis Blériot came into fame and fortune by becoming the first aviator to fly across the English Channel. Blériot Type 11 spent its life back in the 40s and 50s in an automobile scrapyard up in New Hampshire before a young gentleman who knew about Cole Palin retrieved that airplane, gave it to Cole Palin, and it's been flying on and off for many, many years. Will it fly today? Back to Blériot was the first airplane to loop the loop. Here we go, 1909. How are we going to do today? Hey now! This is a reproduction airplane built by Cole Palin, Andy Keefe, Gordon Bainbridge down in the winter shop in Delray Beach, Florida, where so many airplanes were built down there and then brought back to perform here at the Aerodrome. An original Hanrio exists at the Musée de l'Air outside. Let's see how we're going to do. 1910 Hanrio, ready to take to the sky. Sounds great, doesn't it? Developed around 1907. The reason for the rotary engine was to cool it. One of the big problems in the early days of aviation was that the engines that were available were very heavy, cast iron, steel construction, very prone to overheating. Water cooling was okay, but it added a lot of weight. They decided, what if we were to spin the whole engine? It will be its own best fan. Believe it or not, it worked, and it worked very well. Introduced in 1907 and used extensively through World War I, by which time, around 1918, it had become obsolete. The way the rotary engine works, in a nutshell, the crankshaft itself is stationary. The crankshaft does not turn. The crankcase and cylinder assembly rotate around the fixed crankshaft. The crankshaft is hollow, and that is where is pumped the fuel. and the air, and the lubricant, which is castor oil. Castor oil, a tremendous, superior really, lubricant. Also, vegetable base doesn't tend to break down with the fuel as much. You can see the copper inlet tubes that run from the center crankcase to the top of the cylinders. 9-cylinder engine. Now spinning the engine over, getting a nice raw mixture of fuel into all 9 cylinders. The pilot has a fuel lever and an air lever, and he serves as a carburetor, adjusting the amount of fuel and air going to the engine. Full power on this, 1,200 revolutions per minute. Let's see if we can get her to crank up. There she goes. Now the pilot will adjust that fuel and air, trying to figure out too rich, too lean. There we go. And as ungainly as that airplane looks, and it appears to be hitting on 8 of 9 cylinders right now, which is enough to happen. Very odd airfoil on the airplane, but it was like a big box kite. This was a very stable flying machine. It was a great training airplane, pre-World War I, a rotary engine. Here comes the Aerodrome G.III.
Very nice.
And we may have followed one spark.